Round 8 of the MotoGP World Championship took place in Mugello. The Italian Grand Prix gave us some good racing with a few more battles than we've seen in the past few rounds. So let's take a look at the 5 things we learned from the Italian Grand Prix weekend. Noale team news. The Aprilia team announced this weekend that they had signed both Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Viñales for 2 more years, meaning that 2 now highly coveted seats have been closed off in the rider market. The Noale factory has also announced a deal with RNF. This means there'll be 4 Aprilias on the grid next year. The news only got better for Aprilia as Aleix Espargaro rewarded his team with yet another podium, finishing in 3rd place for the 4th time in a row. Viñales had a turbulent weekend. In a similar fashion to his Yamaha days, Top Gun had an atrocious qualifying, hilariously ending up 2 places behind Lorenzo Salvadori. But Maverick kept it clean in the race and picked up places, finishing 1/1000th of a second behind Fabio Di Giannantonio for 12th place. Maverick clearly has a lot of race pace, but he needs to work on his qualifying if he actually wants to start being competitive in that Aprilia team. KTM. Starting with some rider news, Pit Byra mentioned that KTM had offered Miguel Oliveira a Tech 3 seat instead of a factory KTM seat. It seems that the Austrian team wants to open up a factory seat to convince another rider from another team to move into that spot. The Portuguese rider has said that he will consider the Tech 3 offer, but no doubt will be a little bit unhappy that he won't be retained in the factory team. This weekend saw KTM introducing a new fairing, but the upgrade didn't look too good after qualifying. Miguel started 15th, just ahead of Binder. However, on Sunday, in typical Binder fashion, Brad boosted it through the field, having an incredible first lap, making up 9 places and finishing an impressive 7th. Miguel's climb through the field was also impressive, if a bit slower, as the Portuguese rider moved up to 9th. It seems that the new aero for KTM may have helped them, and I'm excited to see how they do in the next few rounds. More arm surgery. Marc Marquez announced that he would be taking yet another hiatus from racing, making this his possible last appearance in 2022. After a few good results at the end of last year, I expected to see a fairly competitive Marc this year, and after Qatar it looked good for the 8 times world champion. Since then, however, Honda and Marc have suffered. Marquez having yet another surgery could mean that he is coming up on the end of his career, but I'll ask for your thoughts on whether or not you think Marquez will be back at all. If he is, do you think he'll win again, or is this the beginning of his retirement? VR46, great weekend. Valentino Rossi had his famous number 46 retired from racing this weekend. I guess his riders wanted to help him celebrate as the rookie Bezzecchi took an impressive 2nd in qualifying and Marini took 3rd. Both fell back in the race and finished in 5th and 6th. The result was still a good one for the team, but is yet another time that Marini has been outshone by his rookie teammate, who sits behind him in the championship but appears to have more potential with better results in most of the races. Another member of the VR46 Academy is of course Bagnaia, who'd made up for the Le Mans crash and the crash he had last year at Mugello by taking an impressive win that he will no doubt remember. Fabulous Fabios. Normally when someone says Fabulous Fabio, they mean the 2021 world champion, but this weekend went very well for both Fabios as DG had an awesome qualifying, using his Q1 experience of the damp conditions to help him take his first pole position in front of his home crowd. In the race, DG's inexperience showed, but he managed to get his best MotoGP finish of his career, achieving 11th, just holding off Viñales by 1/1000th of a second on the line. Inversely, Quartararo was probably not too pleased with his qualifying as he sat 6th on the grid. Not catastrophic, but it left him having to push his way through multiple Ducatis ahead. Nonetheless, Fabio fought through, despite having a lack of speed down the straight and struggling with understeer, to place 2nd, increasing his championship lead. Rider of the weekend. Rider of the weekend once again goes to Brad Binder. What a race the South African had with that amazing first lap and consistent pace that led him to finish in 7th, seriously close to getting Luca Marini on the line. Had qualifying gone better, Brad may have even been able to compete for a podium or possibly the win, so it was some very impressive pace from the older Binder brother. Struggle of the weekend. My struggle of the weekend goes to Joan Mir. Suzuki has scored 0 points since announcing that they are leaving MotoGP, and this weekend was another catastrophe for them, with both riders crashing out. The stress of riding to find a new seat for next year could be getting to Joan, who is normally so consistent. It's of course important to remember that in motorsport, you're only as good as your last few results, and currently both Joan and Alex's last results have been crashes. If the results are to come for Joan Mir, they have to come soon, otherwise he won't be challenging for any seat on the grid. Alright, that's 5 things we have learned from the Italian Grand Prix. If you have any others, leave them down in the comment section below, go vote in the race rating on my community page, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.